1, 2, 3, 4. Well, flew in from Miami Beach via O.A.C. Didn't get a bed last night. On the way the paper bag was on my knee. Man, I had a dreadful flight. I'm back in the USSR. You don't know how lucky you are, boy. Back in the USSR. Been away so long I hardly knew the place. Gee, it's good to be back home. Leave it till tomorrow to unpack my case. Honey, disconnect the phone. I'm back in the USSR. You don't know how lucky you are, boy. Back in the US, back in the US, back in the USSR. Well, the Ukraine girls really knocked me out. Leave the West behind. The Moscow girls make me sing and shout. That Georgia's always on my mind. Oh, come on. I'm back in the USSR. You don't know how lucky you are, boy. Back in the USSR. Well, the Ukraine girls really knocked me out. Leave the West behind. The Moscow girls make me sing and shout. That Georgia's always on my mind. Show me mountains, no big mountains way down south. Take me to your daddy's farm. Let me hear your balalaikas ringing out. Come and keep your comrade warm. I'm back in the USSR. You don't know how lucky you are, boy. Back in the USSR. Well, I'm back in the USSR. Hey, it's good to be home. Yeah, back in the USSR. Ba-da-dum. So there you go, that was Back in the USSR. Real fond memories of this song, to be honest with you, because it was the first time that I ever got up in a school assembly to play in front of the entire school when I was about 16. So we're going back to December 1993, and I remember shaking and chain smoking as well, because I was a big smoker back then. And I was so nervous, and then I got it out of the way, and that was my first gig under my belt. So yeah, that was Back in the USSR that I played on the Hofner bass all those years ago. So yeah, it's a great song, and obviously the USSR no longer exists, but it's still one hell of a tune. So what I'm going to do first of all is show you the chords. So we're going to start off with an A major. First finger, first fret, third string, second finger, second fret, fourth string. Then we've got an A7, lift off your second finger, there's your A7. Then we've got a D major, first finger, second fret, fourth string, second finger, second fret, third string, third finger, second fret, second string. Then we've got an E7, so first finger, first fret, fourth string, second finger, second fret, third string, and third finger, second fret, first string. Then we've got a nice easy C major chord, third finger, third fret, first string. Then a G chord, first finger, second fret, third string, second finger, second fret, first string, third finger, third fret, second string. There we go, that's the chords. Now, the strumming, as you've probably noticed, it's just fairly simple. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. You're keeping that junka, 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 junka kind of rhythm. So the strumming's pretty straightforward. So for the intro, this is what we're doing for the intro. So it's flew in front, and then you're into the main verse. So it all happens on the E7 chord. So E7, and you're kind of doing a down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So you do two of those, and then you're just playing constant down ups. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, well, and then then you're into the main verse. So we're going to start for the main verse on an A. Flew in from Miami Beach, B, D, O.A.C. Now to C, didn't get to bed last. Now to D, night. Back to A, on the way the paper bag was. Now to D, on my knee. Now to C, man I had it dreadful. To D, flight, I'm back in the U.S.S. Back to A, R. Now to C, you don't now lucky you. To D, R, boys, and stop back in the U.S.S. Now we go back to the A. R, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then we're going to go to an E7. Up, up, down, up. So I'll just play that again. You don't know how lucky you are, boys. Stop back in the U.S.S. Now we're going to go R, and it's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then you do the up, up, down, up on the E7. Up, up, down, up. Okay, so now we're into the second verse. Back on the A. Been away so long I hardly. Now to D, knew the place. Now to C, gee, it's good to be back. Now to D, home. Now to A, leave it till tomorrow. To on D, pack my case. Now to C, honey, disconnect the D phone. I'm back in the U.S.S. Back to A, R. Now to C, you don't allow lucky you. D, R, boys. Now what we're going to do is up strokes, and we're going to kind of block the string, so it's back in the U.S., back in the U.S., back in the U.S.S. And what I'm doing there, so I'm going to count the number of upstrokes. So here we go. Back in the U.S., back in the U.S., back in the U.S.S. So I'll do that again. Back in the U.S., back in the U.S., back in the U.S.S. So you can do a U.S.S. on the G, up, down, up. And then we go back to the A, R. So I'll do that again because it's a little bit tricky because you've got those upbeats on the G. So I'll do it from just taking it from the end of the second verse. So it goes like this. You don't know how lucky you are, boys. Stop. And then you kind of do the back in the U.S., back in the U.S., back in the U.S.S. And then back to the A, R. Down to A7, well done. Now we go to the D. Ukraine girls really knock me out. They, back to A, leave the West, B, A7, hind. And D, Moscow girls make me sing and shout. That's E7, Georgie's always on my mama. D, my. Back to A, mine, oh come, and then E7 on. So we're doing an up, up, down, up on the E7. Ah, come on, up, down, up, and then we go back to the A for the solo. Down, to D, down, now to C, down, D, down, back to A, down, D, down, C, down, D, down. I'm back in the U.S.S. Back to A, R. Now to C, you don't know how lucky you. D, R, boys, and stop. Back in the U.S.S. Now to A, R. A7, well done. Now back to D, Ukraine girls really knock me out. They, A, leave the West, B, A7 high. And D, Moscow girls make me sing and shout. That's E7, Georgie's always on my mama. D, my, A, mine. E7, up, up, down, up. And then you're back into the last verse. So we go back to the A major. Whoa, show me round your Snow Peak Mountains, D, way down south. Now to C, take me to your daddy's D farm. Back to A, let me hear balalaikas, D, ringing out. C, come and keep your comrade, D, warm and back in the USS. A, R. Now to C, you don't now lucky you, D, R, boy. Stop back in the USS. Back to A, R. And then E7, up, up, down, up. Well, I'm back, and then back to A. Back in the USSR. It's good to be home. And then you just finish on the A. All the coder does is just basically vamping on the A major, so you're just basically playing up and downs. And you can kind of ad-lib if you want, which is what Paul McCartney does. Well, let me tell you, I'm back. Kind of doing a Elvis Presley kind of impression. In fact, it was actually Paul McCartney's attempt at kind of writing a Beach Boys-esque kind of song. I think there was already a Back in the USA by Chuck Berry. But yeah, he was really trying to go in for that kind of Beach Boys thing. Woo, woo, with all the oohs and the high harmonies and that. Anyway, here we go. So we've done the tutorial now. Now is your chance to join along with me in playing the song in its entirety. Now, what I'm going to do is play it a little bit slower than I did in the introduction, just so you can give you a chance to keep up with me. So here we go. So don't forget, E7's at the ready. Don't forget, plenty of down, up, down, up, down ups in the intros. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Well, flew in from Miami Beach, O.A.C. Didn't get to bed last night. On the way, the paper bag was on my knee. Man, I had a dreadful flight. I'm back in the USSR. You don't know how lucky you are, boy. Back in the USSR. Up, down, up. Been away so long I hardly knew the place. Gee, it's good to be back home. Leave it till tomorrow to unpack my case. Honey, disconnect the phone. I'm back in the USSR. You don't know how lucky you are, boys. Back in the US, back in the US, back in the USSR. Well, the Ukraine girls really knock me out. They leave the West behind. Moscow girls make me sing and shout. That JoJo's always on my mind. Oh, come on. I'm back in the USSR. You don't know how lucky you are, boy. Back in the USSR. Well, the Ukraine girls really knock me out. They leave the West behind. Moscow girls make me sing and shout. That Georgie's always on my mind. Show me round the Snow Peak Mountains way down south. Take me to your daddy's farm. Let me hear balalaikas ringing out. Come and keep your comrade warm. I'm back in the USSR. You don't know how lucky you are, boy. Back in the USSR. So there you go. That was Back in the USSR. Brilliant song by Paul McCartney. In fact, it's one of the Beatles songs that Paul actually played drums on as well, because Ringo decided to basically leave the band for a week or so in 1968, round about the White Album session. So Paul thought, oh, well, we've got no drummer. I'll get on the drums instead. So that was it. Plenty of aeroplane noises as well. And yeah, great song. So if you've got any song requests for me, then just leave me a message in the comment section and I will get back to you with a tutorial as quickly as possible. Take care for now and all the best.